What's going on, guys? So, wanted to film a little intro just to kind of get everybody up to speed about what's going on. I'm sure none of you know, but I've had numerous bikes at this point. I've actually had 5 bikes, starting with a 97 ZX6R. That was the first street bike I ever had, and pretty much learned how to ride on it. You know, it was it was in terrible condition. Sold that. I got a 2017 R6 after that. Absolutely loved it. Phenomenal bike for reasons that, you know, I don't really want to get into. I had to get rid of it, and I did, and I missed it. I missed riding. I had a little Project 99 R1 that I had been working on for a while, but it ended up needing a motor, and, you know, I didn't really have time to do that, especially with having a second bike. So I sold that, and beginning of this year, 2020, I got a 2011 CBR 600 RR with 10 original miles, and it's an absolutely beautiful bike. Loved the thing. It's great. It was clean. You know, I had no complaints with it, but after a while, I just got bored. It rode nice and everything, but you know, nothing handles like the R6s do. So I sold that, and also, little side note, the aftermarket support for the CBR community, at least in, you know, like the 08 to 12 body style, which was, in my opinion, the best body style that Honda made for their 600cc super sports, there wasn't much for it. Like, you couldn't find a full titanium exhaust anywhere. But anyways, so about a month and a half ago, I picked up a 2007 R6, and yeah, I saw it and just immediately fell in love. I've always liked that body style. And about 3 weeks ago now, I hit a deer after work. I was on the back roads doing, you know, blowing off a little steam, just enjoying the night, and a deer ran out. Luckily, I was only doing about 40. I locked my brakes up, so by the time it actually hit me, I was probably doing 25, 30, tipped me into a low side, and kind of took the whole side of the bike off. So this is going to be like a little wrecked bike rebuild series. So yeah, let's get into it. So like I said, I have a 2007 R6, and it's mostly taken apart just because I wanted to assess how much damage had actually been done to it. So I'll give you guys a little walk around of how she's sitting currently. I have to say I was very fortunate that, you know, the forks, the wheels, the entire frame, and especially the gas tank itself didn't get damaged. I have a very, very small dent over here on the swing arm, but that shouldn't really affect the structure of it. And, you know, after I hit that deer, I actually picked it up, checked it out, made sure it wasn't leaking fluids or anything like that, and rode it home missing a foot peg. And it rode fine, ran fine, you know, track straight. There was no issues mechanically with it. So that's pretty much where it's at. It needs some parts. Let's put it that way. It needs some parts. And as much as I love this deep purplish blue metallic, that's the actual paint, I think I'm gonna do something different, because all my bikes so far I've tried to keep like as OE plus as possible, but I think we're gonna do something cool with this one. So definitely stay tuned. I have a couple of extra parts kicking around from my 2017 R6. They're all stock parts, but you know, just stuff to do to kind of get this thing back in a proper riding condition. So yeah, we're gonna start just by replacing the factory slip-on with a brand new factory slip-on. Please don't snap. that loose. Get this cover out of the way. And this applies to pretty much all slip-ons that you're going to be doing on one of these bikes. The only variation that you guys might have if you're doing like a Graves or a Yoshi or even a Toast T-slash slip-on is that you're probably not going to be reusing the butterfly valves that's in here. But, you know, just a quick overview on how to get all this taken apart. There's 3 screws, 1, 2, those are both H4s, and then an H5, and that holds this little cover on, that covers your X-up valve cables right here, and then pretty much just this one clamp down here, which hopefully we're going to be able to get off, because that comes off, we're going to have a good day. And then, it looks like this is just a 12 up here. 12 or 13 is a 12. And that just goes to the back of the rear set. That's pretty much what stabilizes the whole slip-on. Cool. That nut in the back is captured, so I don't have to worry about that falling out. Cables loosened up. I've actually had the, I believe it's code 18 problem on this bike for some time now, which basically just means that the servo motor that controls this binds. So I have wanted to get in here and kind of figure out exactly what's going on with that, but when we do get a full system in the future, all this is getting removed. It's unnecessary. Like, it might help a little bit with the low end on a factory catted system, but when we start getting into some performance, making real power, having that extra little bit of flow at the bottom isn't gonna really help, especially because we'll be tuned for it. And I currently work at a motorcycle dealership that is also an authorized DynoJet retailer, and they have a dyno, so this will be getting dyno tuned in the future, and I am very excited for that because of all the bikes that I've had so far, I have not had a bike that has been tuned yet, which is kind of crazy to me because pretty much every car I've owned has had a tune, which originally, you know, I was a total car guy. Still a total car guy. Some things will never change, but motorcycles are more of a newer hobby for me, only within the last few years. If I can get this one cable out, I can get this slip-on out. And there it is. There's your 2 cables. There's the old system, as you can see. It's got some damage here. It's got a good little dent there. I'm not sure if that comes across in the video, but it is real tie, which is nice. Now hopefully I can get this clamp off and we can slap this new one on there. So just real quick, I'll show you where I'm at. I got the cables transferred over. These actually weren't too bad. They kind of just pop right in. I think the biggest struggle is getting these loose enough so that you have enough slack to slide them back and kind of pop them up. So there's a little lip that these sit in. Somehow, miraculously, I didn't snap this bolt because it is completely rusted. Don't know how, but fingers crossed on that it actually worked. And yep, just transferred the little collar over, set her back in place. There's a little nut that's in a capture on the back of this. It sits in that little capture. I guess I reused that on my tow system for the 17. So swap that over. It's all just set in place right now loosely. I gotta retighten these cable connections, tighten the actual clamp, and tighten the mount itself, and just put the new cover on. But as you can see, this one was mangled, especially the tip. Sorry to whoever's driveway I chewed up, but thanks for stopping my bike with your cobblestone. So I'm sure this wasn't the most exhilarating video, since we're pretty much just putting stuff back to stock. But that being said, you know, it is a useful guide for anyone that just wants to replace a slip-on. Doesn't matter which brand, the process is basically the same. And you know, maybe you guys had a similar incident where the bike fell over and you just wanted to put another factory slip-on there. Hopefully this will be a nice little walkthrough on how to do it. It's very straightforward. Probably one of the most, well, I wouldn't say one of the most simple things you can do on one of these, but you know, about half an hour in your backyard with simple hand tools, or if you have an advanced tool set, it'll be that much easier. But yeah, it's just, you know, something to get her back on her feet. So I'll show you guys what we did. So that's the whole slip-on reinstalled. Got the fresh hardware from the newer one on, and everything's back together. And what I noticed actually after installing it is the factory 07 slip-on is about 2 inches shorter than the factory 17 slip-on. So that is a much longer pipe than what was on there. And yes, I know it's factory and probably ended up making it quieter, but I have to say I actually really like the look of it with the longer slip-on there. So fire it up for you guys real quick. Let's make sure there's no rattles or anything weird, or the whole thing doesn't just shoot off in my driveway. So I just ran it. I didn't want to get it too hot since, you know, it's just going to be sitting. But was good. Started up fine, which is great because it's been sitting for a good 2 weeks now and I haven't started it. I think after this video I'm going to disconnect the battery real quick. I actually, fortunately, before it went down, I just filled the tank up with, instead of using 93, which is what I put in all my bikes, because why are you going to use low quality fuel when it's so cheap to fill these things up? I put recreational use 91 in it, since, you know, the season was starting to come to an end. And the beauty of Rec 91 is you do get a little bit more power because it's still leaded, it's not unleaded, but there's no ethanol in it, so the fuel itself doesn't degrade. That's why it's recreational use. So it's got a full tank of Rec 91 in there, which means I can leave this thing sit all winter without putting fuel stabilizer in. And it shouldn't gel up the tank, and it shouldn't clog up the injectors or the fuel filter. So that's really good. Yeah, I ran it for a couple minutes, verified that the valve was actually working, and I'm not getting code 18 anymore. So I think that the X-up valve itself is what was sticking. So it's funny, crashing this bike, I feel like it wanted me to, because there's a lot of parts on here that I didn't like, and pretty much all the parts that got damaged were parts that I wanted to change anyways. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned, we have a ton more content coming with this bike. My other best friend on the channel, Steve, he's got, I believe it's also a 2007 GSXR 600. He's going to be doing some stuff to that thing. we got the Subi, we got my 335. So we're gonna be trying to get at least 1, maybe 2 videos a week out. You know, tutorials, walkthroughs, basic maintenance, upgrades, mods, car meets, lifestyle. Yeah, and whatever you guys want to see, leave it down in the comment section, and you know, we'll try and tailor our videos to you guys while keeping them fun and doing what we do. But yeah, keep it real. Thanks for tuning in.